Blood Hunt tie-in. New team lineup debuts. With the current Avengers tied up and under siege during Blood Hunt, Captain Marvel calls for aid, and who better to assemble a new team of Avengers than Steve Rogers? Captain America gathers the forces of Quicksilver, Hawkeye, Hercules, and Hazmat to take on the hordes of vampires attacking all over the world. And when they encounter an organized army of vampires in uniform led by a surprise villain, it gets personal. Avengers, Volume 9, Issue 14, Legacy Issue 780. And there came a day unlike any other, when Earth's mightiest heroes found themselves united against a common threat. On that day, the Avengers were born to fight the foes no single superhero could withstand: the Avengers. Vampires have descended upon the Earth. With the planet shrouded in perpetual night, vampires are more powerful than ever, and it's up to the Avengers to stop them. But hordes of vampires and only 7 Avengers means Captain Marvel knows it's time to call in the cavalry. Avengers assemble. Captain America says this is an Avengers priority alert. Avengers chair Carol Danvers: Captain Marvel has tasked me with putting out the call for more Avengers. If you receive this message, it means that I need you to step up. Identity card tracking will bring you to my location. Be prepared for vampires. Avengers assemble. Captain America out. The Avengers need a new team to help the existing Avengers team battle Blade and the horde of vampires taking over the Earth. The introduction of the new Avengers starts with none other than Captain America, Steve Rogers. As superheroes and supervillains gather, Captain America speaks. I suppose I'm a superhero. I've worn this costume, taken on the name, fought villains all across the world and alongside the Avengers. But at their heart, I'm a soldier. It's all I ever wanted to be, not because I like war or fighting for its own sake, but because this has always been a world where things exist that need to be fought against. And that's what I wanted to do: fight against the things that need to be fought. I'm a soldier, which means I can tell you this: we're at war, and I need an army. As Captain America delivers the soliloquy, he is battling vampires. Using his super strength, he pounds a few vampires and blocks another vampire's claws with his iconic shield. For good measure, he decapitates the vampire by throwing his shield and catching it back, only to see 30 more vampires running at him. The super soldier Captain America stands ready for the next wave. The next member is Hercules. Hercules says, every time I return to the world, I find it in peril. This is no great worry, for Hercules is the match of any peril. I have lived very, very long and have seen the light of the world flicker time and again. Every time Hercules has been there to meet that which would extinguish it. If there be the crisis that finally snuffs it out, then I will meet the final darkness as an Avenger. As Hercules speaks, he lifts a bus and hurls it at the vampire. He turns to his friend Captain America and says, "Ha! Captain America, the Prince of Power heeds your call. Come then, stranglers. Come and receive the gifts of battle." Hercules then draws his sword and swats away a few of the vampires. Suddenly, out of nowhere, arrows come streaking through the air, adding to the chaos. Hawkeye, Kate Bishop says, they say the shortest distance between the 2 points is a straight line, but that's not how arrows travel. There's always an arc. That's life. Up and down, never in a straight line. Straight lines are easy, point and shoot, but an arc is complicated, alive, and unpredictable. Now more than ever, I'm reminded of the biggest point of comparison: an arrow's arc. So does life. The next Avenger is Kate Bishop. Hawkeye, of course. She's using her arrows to take out vampires. The following Avenger is Pietro Maximoff. He says, my father is a bastard, and I take after him. Ask my ex-wife. Ask our child. There's only one person who loves me, my sister, the Scarlet Witch, a prisoner of those who have done this to the world. So I rejoin my other family, the Avengers, and I kill as many vampires as I can until I'm able to reach those who haven't taken my sister. The Scarlet Witch has been captured since Blood Hunt issue 1, and her brother wants to save her. The next Avenger is Hazmat, a girl who could produce various deadly substances from her body. Hazmat says, I guess it was always going to come to this, chuckling. Hazardous radiation at vampires under eternal night. I mean, I went to school for it, for God's sake. Fought masses of evil, no less. I even palled around with Captain Marvel, and now she runs the whole gang. I suppose I just accept it. I'm an Avenger now. Hazmat uses her deadly substance to cook many vampires, seemingly like the Avenger who is wiping out the majority of them. They have all come together in an iconic shot of this new Avengers team. Captain America introduces them to one another, noting that while some of them haven't worked together yet, they have all been Avengers before in one form or another. They all know to watch each other's backs, and that's exactly what they'll need to do right now. He thanks them for answering the alert, readying them for the battle ahead. Quicksilver wasn't too thrilled about answering Cap's alert instead of trying to save his sister, but Cap asks him for his patience, knowing how difficult that is for Pedro. The skies are dark and the vampire attacks have forced the formation of this new team. The Avengers have been hit hard. They're regrouping to hit back and hopefully end this, saving Thor, Black Panther, and Scarlet Witch in the process. They're doing their job, but they need us to do ours. Cap tells the rest of the team, people need saving. They need Avengers. Then Cap informs them that all vampires they've encountered so far have been terror troops, not organized beyond causing chaos and fear. However, there's also an organized faction at work. The wild vampires are dangerous, but the organized group is even more so. They've been rounding up people like cattle, driving them into the herd, and although they're unsure about their motive, it's likely about blood. The new Avengers team will find out for certain what's going on, but there's definitely something sinister about blood. Quicksilver, being much faster on foot, will run there while the rest of the team gets into a vehicle. Captain America flies off in a flying Avengers car, but thinks to himself, the city is in chaos, people are dying, the superhero part of me knows I can't save everyone. That's why I have to follow the soldier part of me. I'm on a mission. There's no room for despair, for thoughts of all people I'm not saving. I'm trying to save the most that I can. I can't save them all. The soldier knows that, but the superhero weeps. Hawkeye is first to spot a group of vampires rounding up a crowd of people. The group of vampires is associated with a notorious hate group. The Avengers all jump in to save the group of people, with Quicksilver arriving first. Once the rest of the Avengers join in, they quickly wipe out the vampire hoarders. The world may be ending, and I know I should be frightened. Maybe I would be if we were just me. But that's the thing about being a soldier. You're never alone. You stand shoulder to shoulder with your comrades. That's also the thing about being an Avenger, and I chose well. Young Avengers, West Coast Avengers, Avengers Academy, and Avenger. You name it. They're fighting as a team already. A combination of many different types of Avengers coming together to form this new team fighting the vampires. Meanwhile, Pietro notices that Captain America's shield isn't flying quite right. Cap tells him it's not the usual one and not well made either, so it doesn't fly the same, but he's getting used to it. It's edged in silver, and he had it made right after he was turned into a werewolf. Kate Bishop asks if anyone else wants to know where these hate-filled vampires come from. Quicksilver says it makes no difference. They are all parasites. Just then, a large vampire appears and clotheslines Pietro. After the clothesline, another vampire catches Pietro and starts explaining that they represent a constant ideology, a master race putting undermen where they deserve to be. Before he can finish his speech, Cap takes him out with his shield, showing he's getting the hang of it. Meanwhile, Hercules blames the Atlanteans for this. If they haven't discovered the Darkhold and created the first vampire, this wouldn't be a problem. Captain says, let's not get carried away. I've known good vampires, people who never ask for the curse, who don't inflict their pain and hunger on others, but I've never known a good hate group. Meanwhile, Hazmat and Kate Bishop, Hawkeye, take care of the vampires. This Avengers team successfully manages to clear the area of vampires, allowing the civilians to find safety. However, just as they're enjoying the momentary win, they are suddenly beamed up into the sky along with the civilians. They soon discover it's a vortex beam coming from a helicarrier. Now they're all aboard the helicarrier. The Avengers try to calm the civilians and keep them safe. Hazmat threatens to take down the helicarrier with the EMP, but Hercules reminds her that doing so would be disastrous for the city beneath them, as well as for themselves and all the people who were just abducted with them. Captain America says, I knew it would be you. It is Baron Blood, John Falsworth. Lord John Falsworth was the youngest of two sons of Lord William Falsworth, one of the wealthiest members of the British aristocracy. In late Victorian and Warden times, John left embittered when his older brother Montgomery inherited the title and the bulk of the state upon William's death shortly before World War I. Eventually, Falsworth sought Castle Dracula in Romania to find and control Dracula as a means of achieving immense wealth and power. However, Falsworth fell victim to Dracula's hypnotic powers and was turned into a vampire himself. Dracula commanded Falsworth to return to England to wreak havoc upon the country that had repulsed him earlier, as detailed in Bram Stoker's 1997 novel, while Dracula himself fought Abraham von Helsing and other enemies. Baron Blood says, every time I or someone like me has tried to deliver this particular baby into the world, you have been there to kill it in its its crib. But this time, Captain America, noble fascism will be born in America, and it will be me who welcomes it into the world. You see, it's in my blood, barren blood. Next, Avengers Volume 9, Issue 15, Legacy Issue 781.